Previously on the Eclipse, Minji's rivalry turned to betrayal. Hana's mark burned brighter than ever. Professor Ahn read the prophecy aloud. Violet, blue, red, and shadow. And then the shadow demon stepped onto the stage. Now the eclipse draws nearer, and the chains of fate begin to tighten. Hana woke in the dormitory, her wrist still burning. But when she looked up, she was not in her room anymore. She stood on a stage of endless shadows. The audience was nothing but faceless figures. The demon's voice whispered, "Sing and surrender." But as Hana opened her mouth to speak, a memory flashed before her eyes. A vision of the past, a moment of truth. Was this really her destiny? To be the vessel of the shadow demon and bring eternal darkness upon the world? Or was there another way? A different path that she could take? The eclipse is coming, but what will Hana do? Will she embrace her fate or defy it? Find out next time on The Eclipse. In the real world, Jaehyun knelt by Hana's bedside. He whispered to himself, "I will not let her fall, even if it means breaking the prophecy," his blue aura flickering around him brighter than ever before. The system notification made everyone in the room gasp. The prophecy was clear. If Jaehyun broke it, he would lose all of his powers. But what choice did he have? His Hana was dying, and the system was just letting her die. Ignoring the prophecy was one thing, but breaking it was another. Jaehyun knew that if he chose to do this, there was no turning back. He looked at Hana's pale face and closed his eyes, whispering, "I'm sorry." He started to glow brighter and brighter until he was nothing but pure white light. Everyone watched in awe as the light faded away, leaving behind a figure that was once Jaehyun, but now was something else entirely. His clothes were gone, replaced by a white robe that shimmered with celestial light. His hair was longer, his eyes were different. He looked like a god. But this wasn't Jaehyun. It was the system. It had taken his place and was now in control of his body. "I will not let you destroy my world," the system said, its voice echoing with power. "You are mine now, Jaehyun. I am your new master." The air crackled with anticipation. Minji stood before the shadow demon, his face obscured by the darkness of the stage. Her hands trembled as she reached out to him. "You promised me the spotlight," she snapped. The demons around them laughed, their voices echoing through the theater. "Then take it," he hissed, stepping closer. "But know that every spotlight casts a shadow." His claws extended, glinting in the light. Minji gasped as he sank the first chain around her wrist, the metal biting into her skin. She struggled, but his grip was like iron. "Let me go," she cried, her voice echoing through the empty theater. The chains dragged her closer to the stage, closer to the shadow demon. As the music swelled, he leaned in, his hot breath on her neck. "You are mine now," he whispered, his voice a dark rumble in her ear. "And no one can save you." The prophecy, it's up to you now. Professor Ahn gathered the students in the old library. His voice was grim. "The eclipse comes in 3 nights. When it falls, one of you will vanish. That is the prophecy. Violet, blue, red, and shadow. It cannot be broken." But Jaehyun's eyes burned with a fierce light. "Then we will break it anyway." He looked at the 4 of them, his gaze lingering on each of them before he finally spoke. "I won't allow any of you to become sacrifices to some ancient ritual. Not while I'm still alive." He stood up, his shadow looming over them. "We will find another way, even if it means defying the heavens themselves." The students gasped. They knew what he was talking about. The celestial ritual. It was supposed to save the world from the eclipse. But it came with a terrible cost. The sacrifice of 4 young souls. "We don't have time to waste." We need to find a way to stop the eclipse without the ritual. Jaehyun took a deep breath. There has to be something. If only we could rewrite the prophecy. Hana found Minji under the neon lights of the rehearsal hall. The girl was suspended in midair, arms outstretched like a bat. "Why are you doing this?" Hana cried. Minji's voice cracked. "Because no one ever looked at me," she whispered. "Not until the shadows did." The red glow from the neon lights spread up her arms, tracing the lines of her muscles and bones. It was mesmerizing, terrifying. "I can help you," Hana said, reaching out to touch her. Mina shook her head, her eyes wide and dark. "No, you don't understand," she hissed. "The only way to get rid of the shadows is with more light. But what if there's no more darkness? What then?" She closed her eyes and the chains holding her in place rattled like a death knell. The shadow demon appeared again. Mist curling through the hall, he spread his claws wide and the chains shot out, wrapping around Hana, Jaehyun and Minji. The mark on Hana's wrist flared so bright it lit the entire room. She looked down at her intertwined fingers and gasped. The demon's eyes glowed an eerie green in the darkness. His voice echoed through the hall. 3 days. 1 eclipse, 1 survivor. He leaned closer to Hana, his hot breath washing over her face. "You have 3 days to find the artifact, Hana. 3 days to save yourself, your brother, and your friends." With that, he disappeared into the shadows, leaving behind only the sound of his laughter. Hana stumbled back, her heart pounding in her chest. She looked up at the ceiling, fear and determination etched on her face. "I won't let you win," she whispered, her voice trembling. The prophecy had been written long before they were born. But prophecies can be rewritten, if you are willing to bleed for it. As the eclipse crept closer, Hana realized the stage was no longer her dream. It was her battlefield. For years, she'd felt the pull of the celestial event. The whispers of the universe urging her toward a destiny she couldn't understand. All she knew was that the eclipse held the key to her future, to her very survival. But with each passing day, the whispers grew louder, more insistent, demanding. And Hana found herself drawn into a power struggle that had been brewing since the dawn of time. The stage was set, the players were in place. It was a battle of cosmic proportions, and Hana was at the center of it. With the eclipse just days away, she had to make a choice. Would she embrace her destiny, or defy it? Would she become the hero of her own story, or watch as the darkness consumed everything she loved? The fate of worlds hung in the balance, and the clock was ticking.